It's the beginning of March, so you know what that means? That's right, my friend Mike is clamoring for the February update. That's what I'm talking about today. Stick around. Hi, welcome back. My name's Joe Brown, and I'm a realtor with Century 21, List with Beggins, located in South Tampa. Thank you so much for being here with me today. So as I said in the introduction, I'm going to give a February update, right? How the real estate market in Tampa did in February. And this is for the 5 zip codes of South Tampa. And if you're new with me, right, those 5 zip codes are 33606, 33609, 33611, 33616, and 33629. So all the data I'm going to share for those 5 zip codes only. And I will tell you, stick around to the end because I have some maybe concerning but also interesting news to share with you. And I will tell you this data I'm going to share, some of it is alarming, right? And something we really have to keep track of. So as usual, I'll put my handy dandy chart up here just so you can follow along. And it's a 2-year comparison just so we can see what the trend is, right? So take a look at active listings. So these are home at the end of February that are actively on the market in those 5 zip codes. And you can see we're down, right? We're down 60 homes month over month. And I'll talk about that in a second. Look at new listings. So these are people that decided to put their home on the market. That's also down. Now, again, it's February, still early in the year, and we kind of see over time that ramps up. So when we get to spring and summer, that goes up. And the average over the past few years is about 250 homes a year go on the market. So being at 199 for this month, not very concerning. If it stays that low for the next few months, that will be concerning. Take a look at days to sell, right? So you put the home on the market, how long will it be there till you get a contract? We're creeped up a little bit to 57 days. So it's still under 2 months. Now, you may think, oh man, we're really creeping up because if you remember a year ago, we were just a couple weeks. We were 14, 15 days. Well, if you go back to, and I looked at this information, if you go back to 2019, we were close to 80 days, between 80 and 90 days. So it's still being under 2 months is still very fast. It's a fast market. Take a look at sales, right? So these are people, even with the higher interest rates, they decided to buy a home, and you can see sales is up, right, at 158, which is good, right? For realtors, that's good. However, with a lower active listing, higher demand, I'll talk about that in a second, right? Look at home price, the median sales price. That went up over $600,000. You can see that $30,000. And again, I be cautious when I give you that median sales price number because I don't know the age of the home, the condition of the home, the location of the home, right? All those specifics play into a house, right? The value of the house. I could sell 5 houses all valued at $200,000 because they're all tear downs. So I tell you the average price is $200,000 and you think, oh, I can afford this. Whereas if you want a house you can move into, it's $500,000, right? So just be careful with that median sales price number. Here's something very interesting. The ratio of what a home sells for to what it was originally priced at. And for those of you who are new watching this, If I put my house on the market, let's say for $500,000, and it's not getting any offers, not getting a lot of attention, I'll lower the price, let's say to $450,000. And then it sells at $450,000. Well, it was originally 500,000, sold at 450,000. So I got 90% of what I was asking. Well, what's South Tampa, right? 95%. So in my example, the house would have sold for 475,000. So when we talk and buyers say, I'm going to wait for prices to come down, well, you really expect about a 5 to 6% decline in prices. Hold on to that thought, right? Months of inventory. Look at this. We are going down in months of inventory. Part of that is fewer homes on the market, high demand. So this is truly the law of supply and demand, right? Homes are still selling. You saw we went up almost 30 homes sold in February, 158 homes sold. So there's still demand. Now, is the demand as high as it was a year ago? No. Why is that? A lot of it is the interest rates and what people can afford. And I will tell you, I read this morning. Tampa itself, year over year, home prices have increased almost 16%. It's 15.8% year over year. But now quarter over quarter, third quarter to fourth quarter, home prices dropped 0.1%, right? So for the buyers on the sideline saying, I'm going to wait for home prices to come down and I hope they come down 10%. Well, first of all, I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but I'll refer you to a video I did, and I'll put a link to it here. I forgot that name, link. But I did a video on mortgage rates, right? And what that means for you as a home price may drop, but if interest rates go up, what you may actually pay per month goes up as well. So those are some concerns, right? I am concerned, again, the law of supply and demand. If supply's coming down and months of inventory is shortening, what does that do to home prices? Yeah, the law of supply and demand said home prices are going to increase. And we saw that year over year. Are we going to continue to see that? For home prices to stabilize, and when I say stabilize, maybe expect a 1 to 2% increase per year, just 1 to 2%. For that to happen, we have to get to about a 6 or 7 month supply of inventory, which means days to contract will go up to 90 or 100 days. So we are still in a seller's market. Now, certainly, and we see this in the numbers I shared earlier, fewer sellers are putting their home on the market. Will that trend continue? We have to see. But think about the logic. If people are locked in, let's say, into a mortgage of 4.5%, well, if they sell their house and go buy something else, they're going to buy at today's rate, which is 6.5. And so what they're able to afford is lower, right? And so people are thinking, why would I pay more in interest if I'm happy where I am? So there is some of that seller saying, listen, interest rates, I'd like to sell my home. I don't want to pay higher interest. So there's some of that factor. I will tell you there are buyer demands. I'm working with a lot of buyers who want to move to this area and are looking forward to move to this area. The house has to be the right house, and the payments have to be the right payments. Now, talking about that, and I said this earlier, that this is important information, and I'm going to throw up another graph in just a second. So I've said frequently, you have got to track the 10-year Treasury yield because mortgage rates track the 10-year Treasury yield. 3 weeks ago, mortgage rates were 6.12. Then they went to 6.32. Last week, last Thursday, came out at 6.5. And have you seen what the Treasury yield has done this past week? It's gone up. Yesterday, it was over 4. And then I think closed right around 4. My guess is we're going to see another increase in interest rates, and that comes out at noon today. So my estimation is we may be over 6.6 for this next week. And that limits what buyers can afford. Now, interestingly, I was doing work around the house and I had to dig through old paper. The first house my wife and I bought, our interest rate was 9.5. Then after 4 years, we sold that house and bought this house, and the interest rate was 8%. Well, I was curious, and here's the chart. This is a 30-year average. So this goes back to 1971 until 2023. You see where interest rates have been? And the average over those 30 years is 7.75. Right? So we're 6.5, so we're below average. Wait, is that good? Being below average? But we're below average. So if we get to 7.75, we can say, oh, we're right on the 30-year average. I'm not sure if we'll get to 7.75. My gut is we will get to 7, maybe slightly over 7. And then it really depends on how inflation is doing and the Fed rate increases. So the market, it's still a buyer's market. Remember, months of inventory, anything below 6 months is a seller's market. So sellers are getting 95, 96% of their asking price. In fact, one of the zip codes, what was that? 33611 got 98% of their original asking price. So still be active. I want to be your trusted advisor. So listen, if you're thinking about buying a home, selling a home, if you know somebody who is, reach out to me. That there's no obligation. We'll sit down, talk, and figure out what the best move is for you. Okay. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Check out my website, joebrownc21.com. I add new information to it all the time. I put different blogs, different posts. So check that out. I do have some custom searches set up for you. Send me an email, contact me. I truly love sharing this information with you because South Tampa, Florida living is awesome.